Yo, what are you doing? I was getting the results off ChatGPT for the finals. I already put it in ChatGPT. I already have all the results. Oh. All right, well, then I guess I didn't need to do any of this. All right, and welcome back to we are gonna be getting into our finals, and this is the last video for our AEW versus WWE tournament. We're gonna finish off with the final 3 matches, but first we gotta get into these finals. We're gonna be looking at Kenny Omega versus Swerve Strickland, and then also a rematch of all rematches, Drew McIntyre taking on CM Punk. Let's jump into the action. First match here is Kenny Omega versus Swerve. So we're going to get started with the ChatGPT breakdown of the match. Looks pretty good. So the bell rings and the crowd is on the edge of their seats. The two competitors circle each other, exchanging quick, intense glares. Swerve is the first to make a move, charging Omega with a quick leg kick to test his range. Omega counters with a spinning back elbow, but Swerve evades it with his trademark speed and rolls through into a standing moonsault. The crowd pops, impressed by Swerve's agility. Omega, unfazed, smiles slightly, acknowledging the challenge. He steps forward and locks up with Swerve, but Swerve immediately slips behind, looking for a German suplex. Omega blocks it, spinning into a V-trigger knee strike and catches Swerve on the jaw. The impact shakes Strickland, but he quickly rolls to the ropes to avoid a pinfall attempt. Strickland, sensing the need to get back into control, decides to get methodical. He slows down the pace with a series of calculated holds, including a reverse chin lock and armbar, wearing down Omega. Strickland targets Omega's left arm, knowing that if he can neutralize Omega's striking ability, he'll have an edge. The crowd starts rallying behind Omega, but Swerve taunts them, then delivers a brutal chop to Omega's chest, echoing through the arena. But Omega is no slouch. After a few more strikes to the arm, Omega breaks free with a Snapdragon suplex. Omega follows up with a high-speed dropkick and knocks Swerve back into the corner, setting him up for a running knee strike to the face. Omega isn't done, though. He hoists Swerve onto the top turnbuckle, looking for a superplex, but Swerve counters with an inverted DDT from the top. Swerve senses his opening and goes for the JML driver, but Omega counters mid-move, flipping out and landing on his feet, only to turn it into another V-trigger that sends him stumbling back. The match reaches its breaking point as both competitors are exhausted and bruised. Omega tries to pick up the pace, charging at Swerve with another V-trigger, but Swerve dodges and hits a massive spinning heel kick. Strickland quickly hooks Omega's leg for a pin. 1, 2, Omega kicks out. Swerve looks frustrated but determined. He sets up for his Swerve stomp, but Omega catches his leg mid-air and transitions into a dragon screw leg whip. Omega's experience shows as he follows up with a V-trigger to the back of the head, dropping Swerve. He then sets up for his one-winged angel, but Swerve fights back, attempting to escape and land a back elbow. However, Omega manages to catch him and deliver a Snapdragon suplex into the corner, followed by another V-trigger. The crowd is on their feet as Omega, seeing the moment to finish, picks Swerve up, locks him in position, and hits the one-winged angel. He covers him. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I mean, makes sense. I think in this match, I could see it going either way. But I think if they were to do it today, Kenny would win. Now we jump into CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, which we have seen many times. So I'll be interested to see how this one goes. Can it top their Hell in the Cell match? I doubt it, but let's see here. The bell rings and immediately McIntyre charges at Punk. Trying to impose his size and strength advantage, he locks up with Punk, immediately lifting him into a bear hug to wear down Punk's back. Punk grimaces, but as McIntyre tries to squeeze, Punk shifts his weight and slides out, landing behind McIntyre. Punk immediately delivers a sharp kick to the back of McIntyre's knee, trying to take the big man off balance. McIntyre staggers for a moment, but quickly turns and swings with a big boot. Punk ducks under it and starts landing quick strikes to McIntyre's midsection. Punk tries to take control early by keeping the pace fast. hitting a drop kick to McIntyre's knee to further weaken him. McIntyre stumbles but doesn't fall, showing off his incredible strength. Punk, knowing he can't match McIntyre's strength, focuses on his speed and technical ability. He throws a series of quick elbows and kicks, working McIntyre's legs and body to soften him up. McIntyre, frustrated, charges at Punk again, but this time Punk slips out of the way, sending McIntyre into the turnbuckle with a high-speed drop-toe hold. The momentum shifts as Punk delivers a running knee strike to McIntyre's face, followed by a bulldog that takes the big man down. But McIntyre isn't out. He fights back with his signature power moves, a bicycle kick to Punk's chest, followed by a spinning spine buster that rattles the ring. McIntyre looks for a Claymore kick, but Punk dodges at the last moment, sending McIntyre crashing into the ropes. Punk immediately rolls to the outside, buying himself some time to recover. McIntyre follows, but Punk traps him in the corner of the barricade, delivering a knee to the face, followed by a series of brutal chops to McIntyre's chest. The action is becoming more intense as both competitors are battered and bruised. Punk takes control with his gritty striking, knee strikes to the head, followed by a high-impact pile driver. He goes for the pin, but McIntyre powers out at 2. Punk starts getting frustrated, but that only pushes him to get more ruthless. Punk sets McIntyre up for the GTS, but McIntyre counters and hoists Punk up into the air, looking for the fallaway slam. Punk lands on his feet and delivers a quick enziguri, stunning McIntyre for the moment. Punk follows up with a running bulldog, but McIntyre powers out once more and delivers a brutal overhead belly-to-belly suplex. McIntyre goes for the Claymore kick one last time, and this time he connects. Punk crashes to the mat, unable to avoid the massive boot. McIntyre covers him. 1, 2, 3. Wow, so McIntyre pulls the win out in our tournament, giving us our finale with Kenny Omega versus Drew McIntyre. Wow. So I honestly didn't see that coming. I thought Punk was going to pull it out and we'd have Punk versus Kenny, which would be a really interesting finale, but I'm super happy with Drew McIntyre representing the WWE versus Kenny Omega. This is going to be a good one. Kenny Omega versus Drew McIntyre. So the bell rings and both men approach each other cautiously, each trying to feel out the other. McIntyre's the first to make a move, charging with a massive shoulder block that knocks Kenny off his feet. Omega quickly recovers and locks up with McIntyre, but the power advantage is evident. McIntyre backs Omega into a corner, landing heavy chops across Omega's chest. The crowd winces with each strike. Omega, however, is no slouch. He fights back with the elbows of McIntyre's head, followed by a quick kick to the leg, trying to weaken McIntyre's base. Omega hits the ropes, attempting a flying crossbody, but McIntyre catches him in midair, turning it into a power slam. McIntyre covers, but Omega kicks out before the count reaches 2. McIntyre begins to assert his dominance with his powerful offense. He lifts Omega up for a suplex, but Omega floats over. Landing behind McIntyre, Omega lands a V-trigger knee strike to McIntyre's back, sending him stumbling into the ropes. Omega then delivers a Snapdragon suplex that sends McIntyre crashing to the mat. The crowd roars with excitement as Omega sets up for his next move. McIntyre, now in trouble, uses his raw power to fight back. He manages to hit a belly-to-belly suplex that sends Omega across the ring. The Scotsman roars, firing himself up, and follows up with a sharp clothesline that flips Omega over. McIntyre tries to ground Omega with a submission hold, working on Omega's neck, but Omega wiggles free, rolling out and hitting McIntyre with a springboard drop kick to the chest. Omega, sensing the shift in momentum, tries to go for his one-winged angel, but McIntyre counters, powering out and hitting a huge Claymore kick. The impact sends Omega reeling, but he's able to roll out of the ring just in time to avoid the pinfall attempt. McIntyre watches him, getting more frustrated, knowing he needs to finish Omega off before the momentum shifts again. McIntyre stalks Omega as he recovers on the outside. He attempts to follow him, but Omega catches him with a quick jump kick from the apron, followed by a moonsault to the outside. Omega's speed and agility have allowed him to regain control. The crowd chants for Omega as he slides McIntyre back into the ring and climbs the top rope. McIntyre, however, isn't down for long. As Omega leaps for a top rope crossbody, McIntyre catches him midair and turns it into a backbreaker. He picks Omega up and tries for the Claymore kick once more, but Omega sidesteps and drops McIntyre with a V-trigger knee strike. Omega follows up quickly with a Snapdragon suplex, and now more confidence starts to build momentum. Omega lifts McIntyre for the one-winged angel again, and this time he nails it. He hooks the leg for the pin. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations, AEW's Kenny Omega. You have won the AEW versus WWE tournament with 1, 2, ooh. So I would love to see Kenny try and hit Drew with the one-winged angel. That'd be interesting to see him get him up, because Drew is a big guy, man. Like that's a tough move to pull off, I think, on him. But hey, credit to Kenny. According to ChatGPT, he does it. Congratulations to AEW for winning our first tournament here. I'm sad to see my boy Drew lose. Come on now. I appreciate you all for checking out the channel. This is 1, 2, ooh. So make sure you like and subscribe. You know, every single sub means so much to me. So thank you all so much, especially those who have already subscribed. I hope today I was able to earn your subscription. Until next time, I'm 8-Bit Mike.